You guys have been waiting for it. You guys get to see it. Campbell, Cooley. We finally get the video out. Hope you guys are going to be able to enjoy it. I don't know what's up with this glare. Anyways, check it out. Love y'all. Comment, like, share, follow, subscribe. Do whatever you guys need to do. I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Don't forget to drink some Ghost. What is going on, everybody? We are here at More Phenomenal 2024 at Wonderland of America, and we are here with
Campbell Cooley, veteran voice actor for the Power Rangers franchise.
voice acting. That's crazy. You said over 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
How has that been since you first started? What was that like?
Wow. So, you know, I'm going to take a very long story and try and condense it. So, I was living in New Zealand. I was working in film and television. As with, you know, anybody working in the film industry, there's this much work and there's this many actors. So, I mean, and I was doing okay, but I needed more money. And so people were saying, like, you got a great voice, you should get into voice acting. That was really hard to break into. You know, it's one of those weird kind of juxtaposition things where it's like you can't get a voice agent unless you've done a job, but you can't get a job unless you have a voice agent. So I spent it took about 5 years before I got a voice agent.
Okay.
And that was only because I finally got a job on Power Rangers.
There you go. There you go.
I've been doing some like local stuff for radio stations and everything, a few like small commercials. Then, so what happened was the casting director for Power Rangers, who almost exclusively, when they were casting voices, he would only go to like voice agents.
Okay.
This time, he reached out to my acting agent. He said, "Do you have any Americans on your books?" And she said, "Yeah, we got this guy." And so I went in to audition for SPD, and of course, I was petrified. I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to screw this up. This is like my first serious professional, you know, and I got it. I was terrified during the audition, and I got it. And so I found out from the director years later. He said, and this is I was really kind of shocked. He said it's extremely rare for somebody auditioning for Power Rangers to get cast on their first audition. So I was really kind of
That's impressive, man.
So then they must have liked what I did because they just kept bringing me back over and over and over again. And then we get to Megaforce, and then they started bringing me in for like ongoing villains. And then, you know, the rest of the story, I did like a major ongoing villain for every season since Megaforce and until now. And obviously in the meantime, it's not just been Power Rangers. Right. You know, I've done video games, I've done cartoons and animations, and I'm doing anime, and there's other stuff. But, you know, I think there's a special place in my heart for the voice work I've done for Power Rangers because I've done so much.
Now, when you first started, right, it starts rippling into something way bigger than you even thought. Did you think that where you started to where you are now?
Never. You know, the story that I tell is that because I was living in New Zealand, we were, you know, even though it's kind of like a global community,
right,
and, you know, we have the internet, we kind of can know what other people are doing. New Zealand, the actors in New Zealand were so far removed from what was going on in like the rest of Western society culture-wise.
Right.
We had no idea what we were involved with. We didn't realize we were working on one of those popular shows in the world. To us, it was just a job. We were trying to pay bills. So, you know, when they eventually contacted me and said, we want you to play Alpha 6, I had no idea what I was taking on. I didn't realize this was like an iconic character. I just went in, I did the job, and then it wasn't until years later I was like, people were saying, like, "You're Alpha 6?" I'm like, "Yeah." What? Yes, and then of course I've slowly kind of started to wrap my head around it.
This influence, this such great legacy of everybody that's here. You know, Mighty Morphin to SPD to Zeo. I mean, it's crazy. But again, with all the villains that you played, what is the most favorite villain that you love to do?
I love answering this question. It's changed over the years.
Right.
But I would say, for the three of you out there that don't know this yet, my favorite character is Scrozzle. I love voicing Scrozzle. It's kind of funny because when I first got the part, I didn't really resonate with it. I didn't quite understand why they had cast me, and that's a whole other story behind coming up with the voice for it. And by the end of the recording for Beast Morphers, I had really kind of grown attached to Scrozzle, and then imagine how thrilled I was. They brought him back for Dino Fury and then Cosmic Fury, and he's just, he's this really kind of fun, cool, interesting character that we know nothing about. We have no backstory. We don't know anything. Well, we know we have a few clues, but so I love voicing Scrozzle. He's a lot of fun. He's very hard on my voice, but in the end, I think it's worth it. I love voicing him.
I feel that. I'm trying to keep an audio log in your head of so many voices. How are you able to match each one every single time?
So I don't know, like certain characters are just ingrained in me.
Okay.
I'm never gonna forget them. There's a few that I'd probably have to go back and listen to before I could mimic, but I don't know, I've always been been able to remember the voices for whatever reason. I'll tell you a wacky little story. So when they brought back Snide for Beast Morphers, I think it was Beast Morphers, I'd done the voice like 5 years earlier.
Right.
And I was driving to the audition, and I was in my car, and I was just practicing it. I knew the voice, and I went into the booth, and the casting director it was the same voice director I'd had for Dino Charge, and he says, "Do you want us to pull up an audio file from Dino Charge so you can listen to the voice so that you can remember it?" And I said, "No, I know it." And he was like,
so confident. Love it.
Are you sure? I was like, yeah, I know. Let's just do it. So I recorded the first line, and the first line when they brought back Snide was, "Where am I?" And we recorded that, and then I think we might have recorded 2 other lines, and the director just stopped. He was really nervous because he wanted to know that it was absolutely right. So he turned to the sound engineer. He said, "I want you to go into the files for Dino Charge, just randomly select an audio file and play it back for us." I'm not joking you. He picked the moment in Dino Charge where Snide was created, and his first line was, "Where am I?" So he plays back the other, "Where am I?" And he says, "No, I don't want you to play back what we just recorded. I want you to play back what was from the show." And the engineer was like, "That was from Dino Charge." And he's like, "Yep, you're right. That's the voice. That's the voice."
Good stuff. That's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, for aspiring voice actors, voice impressionists, how would you tell them, or what advice would you give them to start their career?
I don't ever want to discourage anybody from pursuing their dream.
Right.
This is a very hard industry. I mean, people see, us at conventions, and they see us, recording the voice, and it looks like a lot of fun, and it can be fun, but it's a really hard industry. It's so much harder than people realize. And, like I said, I spent 5 years just trying to get an agent. If you're absolutely determined that you want to try and pursue being a voice actor, build a show reel. Just read from books, have several types of things. So maybe have your narrator voice, have maybe some character voices, maybe try and mimic some things from cartoons, maybe do some
impressions,
or radio. Something that I did was, because I needed to build up a show reel, I went to kind of a local radio station that I knew that they did some in-house commercials and stuff. They recorded them themselves for their clients.
Right.
So I went to them and I said, "Hey, look, if you use me as a voice actor, I won't charge you. All I will ask is that you give me the finished product for my show reel." And they said, "Yeah, that's great." So I went in and I was recording commercials for various things, and they gave me those things. And then the other thing is,
hey, taking a quick little pause right before we get into the other discussion of what else you need to be able to do to start your voice impression career. I just wanted to be able to say thank you to Death by Reps, as they've been sitting there supporting us. Shirts, sweaters, very comfortable workout wear, active wear. Okay, don't forget to go check them out at deathbyreps.com. And of course, don't forget to pick up a ghost, because you know how much we support ghosts here at DeltronZ. Hope you have a fantastic day. Peace.
Networking. You've got to network. You can be the best voice actor in the world. If nobody knows that you exist, you're not going to get auditions or you're not going to get called in for stuff. So, you know, I would say it's important that you're talented and you've got skills and everything, but you've got to network like crazy. And that's, you know, that's kind of what I was doing once I kind of got my foot in the door with Power Rangers. I just networked. And the other thing is that this is just my personal opinion.
Right.
This is not something you can do casually. If you're going to be a voice actor, you've got to commit 100%. You can't just think, oh, you know, I'll work on it, you know, once every few days. And
Right.
you know, it's not going to work that way.
You can't half-ass it.
So
Can't do that.
work hard, network. When you do get a job, and I think this is so critical, and I've been in some really tough situations where you go in to record and something goes wrong,
Right.
and you feel like, you know, they're saying, no, that's wrong, do it this way and everything. You've got to just like not take it personally.
Okay.
You just got to do the job and not try not to let it overwhelm you or anything.
I feel that.
So, you know, every situation is different. You know, then some voice jobs are going to be great. The directors are wonderful. The clients are wonderful. And then, you know, there are those jobs where you get people that don't understand how voice actors work.
Right.
And they start pushing you in ways that's like, no, that's not how I work. You have to kind of learn how to adapt.
I get it. Well, I mean, all that information is great because I'm not a voice actor, but I like to do voice impressions, and I feel like I do a good certain amount of characters that I can do, and that information definitely gives me a lot of positivity and a lot of determination. Last question that I wanted to be able to ask is, again, we're here at More Phenomenal. How's your experience been for the con?
I've loved it. You know, I got to do it last year, and I've wanted to come back, and you know, I just assumed that, you know, would be doing, because last year it was in March, so I just assumed that this year would be in March, and then when it came and went, I was like, oh no, you know, did I miss it? And so I'm so happy to be back here. You know, the staff are wonderful. It's a really nice experience, nice and intimate, and you know, you really get time to chat with the fans, and
Of course.
yeah, and it's just a wonderful.
And where can they go and find you? Like, if they wanted to follow your journey, what you're still doing, where can they go and find you?
I've got a few things in social media. So I've got a YouTube channel. It's called Campbell Cooley, Voice Actor at Large. And if you go to that channel, you can actually find videos of me in the recording booth, recording some of the Power Ranger characters and other wacky stuff. And a few other adventures of mine. I'm on Instagram. I think that's Real Campbell Cooley. And so, but yeah, by all means, please, you know, subscribe on my YouTube channel. Reach out and say hi on Instagram. I genuinely try to get back to people. It's just I've been really busy.
Of course. Makes total sense. Well, thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much, buddy.
No, I really appreciate it. Again, one more time, More Phenomenal 2024, Wonderland of Americas. He's got to go back to come and meeting y'all. Y'all have a fantastic day. Peace.
All right, take care.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, buddy.
No, I appreciate
All
you.
right.